Good morning and happy Sunday. We can take a breath this morning and find such comfort in this time of uncertainty. When there's so many things that are unknown, we can take a moment and remember that everywhere we are is God and is truth and is understanding. And as we turn to that knowing, then we can see this time of uncertainty in a new light. And so we begin our service this morning centered in truth. There's only one presence and one power, God. So please join me here in this place.
Good morning. Welcome to our community of love and light as we joyously express God's greater vision in our lives. My name is Roberta Mclaughlin, and I am happy to be assisting Reverend Joanne as your service coordinator today. Whether you are watching from here in Westlake, the next city over, or from around the globe, know that we feel your presence and are holding you in prayer. At Unity Spiritual Center, we are about transforming lives. Unity is more than a Sunday morning experience. We offer many opportunities throughout the week to expand your awareness of God and bring us closer to each other. As we approach our annual meeting date on February 7th, we are putting plans in place to host the meeting in our Zoom room with a stream to YouTube. Members should have received their first communication about the changes. A second communication with meeting documents will go out in approximately 1 week. Information about our board candidates is on our website. They will be available next Sunday, January 31st, for a question and answer session after our service in the Connecting in Community Zoom room. Susan Armstrong is facilitating a weekly Circle of Grace gathering each Tuesday through February 9th. This is a perfect opportunity to join in community with prayer, guidance, extended silence, and a sharing of grace. Information about the gathering is available on our website. Please be sure to check the website for detailed information on all of our ongoing classes and activities. Let's join Bonnie and Jerry as we sing our opening song.
Well, I think the hardest part for most of us in these times that we're living is the uncertainty, the unknown. There's just so much about this that we don't know. But as we are able to look around and find the beauty in this world, in ourselves and each other, we will be there for one another and we will get through this all together. Please join me this morning. Look around. When you're tired and feel you can't get through, uncertainty comes over, you just look around. When your problems seem too much to bear, unsure if there's someone who cares, just look around. Could be
daily word for today is oneness, and the affirmation is, I am divine. Over the years, I have learned there is a spark of divinity within me and within all people. This divine spark binds us as members of one family and deepens our awareness of God. Today, my understanding of my divinity expands. My divine nature is so much more than a spark. It is my essence, who I truly am. I realize I don't have to rely on anything outside myself for love, comfort, and guidance. Everything I could ever need from God is already mine and is expressing as me. My realization of oneness extends to all people, whom I now see as fellow divine beings. Freed from all illusion of separation, I am aware of the divine presence everywhere, expressing through everyone. We are divine. The scripture is from John chapter 17, verse 21. That they may all be one, as you, Father, are in me, and I am in you, may they also be in us. The affirmation, once again, is I am divine.
For the joy of human love, brother, sister, parent, child, love we praise all things above, gentle, peaceful, calm, and mild. God of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. Please join me. For the joy of human love, brother, sister, parent, child, love we praise all things above, gentle, peaceful, calm, and mild. God of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. God of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise.
Thank you, Bonnie and Jerry. What a beautiful song to lead us into this time of meditation and prayer. And as we have been doing, I'm going to invite us into a different type of meditation today, one that will leave your eyes open. So I just invite you to get comfortable wherever you are, to just take a moment and take a couple of deep breaths with me. As we allow ourselves to come fully into this moment, fully present, aware of the seat beneath us, holding us, aware of our feet grounded, back upright. Breathing here now, I invite you to consider the wonder of your hand. I invite you to look at your hands, to move your hands, to recognize with me the wonder of your hands. Within these hands, there are 27 bones, 29 joints, and at least 123 named ligaments. Think about the hands of those babies just born clenched tight. And as the months pass, how that tightly clenched hands begins to relax and open. Think about how these hands that you are looking at were once the hands of that newborn you, and how these hands have grown with you. Think about all the hands these hands have held, the small ones in your life, the hands of a beloved partner or friend, how we reach out for one another with these hands, hold one another with these hands. Think about the comfort that these hands have given as they have wrapped around another, hugging and rubbing the other's back to say, I'm here and I love you. Think about how these hands can reach behind your back and give you a rub and a pat and an I know that you are here and you are doing well. See these hands for the unique hands that they are, with a fingerprint uniquely your own. The lines that are etched there in your palms. Perhaps, like me, you have scars on your hands, scars that tell a story of one day, and whose story you still carry with you in those scars. Perhaps upon your hand is a ring, the wedding ring here on my left hand, your left finger, that index, that finger, ring finger of that left hand whose vein goes below that finger up to your heart, which is why we choose that finger to wear our wedding ring. Perhaps other rings that are on your hands as you think about those. Clench your fists. Relax your hands. With an instant thought, clench your fist. Your hands are already clenching their fists. With the idea of opening them up again, your hands have already opened. Imagine all of the things that you have picked up through the years with these hands, all of the things that you have created with these hands, all of the ways that these hands, your hands, have served you. Allow yourself to experience the wonder of your hands. Giving thanks. Perhaps you are older and your hands have been disfigured with age. Perhaps arthritis has entered into your hands. And you are wishing for those young hands once more. Wherever your hands are, whatever shape they are in, take the time to be grateful for these hands. These hands that have loved, these hands that have held, these hands that have joined together in prayer. And in that place of wonder and gratitude for these hands, let us move into that time of affirmative community prayer. As we give thanks for the intelligence that is in our body, that very intelligence of the divine that stands under all of creation, that beats my heart and breathes my lungs and thinks my mind. I am one with that divine intelligence. I am one with that animating life force that is within me, within all creation. I am one with that place of divine mind possibility. I release every thought or idea that is out of alignment with the wonder of who and what I am. I give no further power to thoughts of unworthiness or not enoughness. I choose to empower the truth within me that I am a miraculous, wonder-filled creation of that divine power and presence, here to shine my own light in my own unique way. And just as this is true for myself, it is true for each and every one that I am bringing into this time of prayer. I see each one uplifted, strengthened, with the ability to persevere and walk through whatever the situation may be, because I know and I affirm that the God of their being is so much greater than whatever the challenge may be. I know that the very life that is God is animating every cell and every atom of their body temple right here, right now, revealing their true nature of wholeness, of holiness. I see deep divine wisdom, guiding each one in discerning what is theirs to think and to say and to do. And I know that this is the true purpose of prayer, to bring my mind and my attention and my intention back to that divine power and presence within. And I hold this idea in mind as I invite you there in your moment to speak aloud the name or names of each one that you are holding in prayer this morning. Mom and Dad, Pete, Marnie, Cindy, Gary, Rob, Zoe, Katie, Molly, Jared, and our community. And we join together in prayer, knowing that your prayer is my prayer. We unite in that deep faith. And from that deep faith, I offer to you now our community prayer for January. The love of God fills my heart with peace and sustains me in any challenge. I am immersed in the comfort of divine love that saturates my mind and body. With each breath, I release every concern of my heart and mind. In the midst of the storm, I remember Jesus' words, "Peace, be still." As I grow in grace and understanding, my faith is renewed, and I am filled with the calm assurance that God is always present and love surrounds me.
Good morning, family. It's good to be with you again today. There is a place within us all where we can take all of our worries and our heartaches. That place is holy ground. And it's where we can really feel good about life, you know? There is a place deep within where I can go and bring the heartache of life flooding in, where the healing can begin. It is the stillness of the mind, it is the peace inside my heart, it is sacred, holy ground. It is the love that knows no limit, where blessings overflow. I choose to stand on holy ground. place deep within, where I can go plant my seeds that will nourish my soul tenderly, so the healing can begin. It is the stillness of the mind, it is the peace inside my heart, it is sacred, holy ground. It is the love that knows no limit, where blessings overflow. I choose to stand on holy ground. Let me stand on holy ground. Lead the way on holy ground. Be my light on holy ground. The place I find the truth is holy ground. It is the stillness of the mind, it is the peace inside my heart, it is sacred, holy ground. It is the love that knows no limit, where blessings overflow. I choose to stand on holy ground. I choose to stand on holy ground. I choose to stand on holy ground.
Thank you, Dedri, and welcome back. We're so glad to have you back with us today, and I love that idea. I choose to stand on holy ground. You know, just like our meditation with our hands, we can just see our hands and think, oh, there's the hands, and we can look at the ground and think, oh, there's the ground, or we can take a deeper look into the mystery of what is and say, this is the ground, but it's also holy ground. And what makes it holy for you and I? It's kind of what we're talking about here as we consider beauty, Beguiled by Beauty, a series that is based on Wendy Farley's book by that name, Beguiled by Beauty. And today we're talking about mystery, wonder, and the abyss. This morning, I had the opportunity to join with our youth and family ministry in their opening circle in the Zoom room at 10 o'clock. And Scott brought to the children, he's also talking about mystery and wonder today, and he brought to the children a video from the Hubble telescope of deep space. Back a couple of years ago, Hubble had taken and aimed their telescope at a space where it appeared there was nothing. It was a black part of the sky. So not even that they were aiming for a star, but a black part of the sky, a tiny infinitesimal part. And they aimed the Hubble telescope there over a period of time, and what they discovered was how full that little piece of nothingness actually was. Not only were there stars within that little tiny bit of space, deep space, but there were galaxies. Yeah, galaxies. I get confused. Universe, galaxy. Yeah, we live in a universe and galaxies within the universe. So yes, there were galaxies within that little tiny bit of blackness that my eye couldn't pick out any of that, right? But that mystery of the vastness of space, that not only am I looking out at the stars, but I am looking out at further galaxies. Wow, that fills me with a sense of wonder. Because you see, what I tend to do, and perhaps you do the same, is I think that I know things. So our brains are designed, and gratefully so, to help us to classify, right? Like I see Roberta sitting over there, and there's Roberta, and Kristen in the back, and Al, and I see all these beautiful faces on the pictures in front of me. Why, there's Jessie, and Vivian, and Michael, and Zori. And I see you, and I have ideas of you, of what that is as I look at Vivian's picture. I see Vivian in my mind, and I have an idea in my mind of the essence that is Vivian when I see her or I see her picture. So my brain has classified. It's put that away. Yep, there's Vivian. There's Roberta. But in the process, I don't necessarily open up to the great mystery of Roberta or Vivian or Kristen, or for that matter, myself or all of creation. I think about this. I look at it this way. I don't know about you, but sometimes I like to play those little personality games, that you can find online. Like, take this test, choose this color. What does it identify about your personality? And sometimes I'll do those things, right? Like I'm trying to figure out in that, who am I? What does this say about me that I like this color? And in the process, I'm trying to understand myself. As I look in my mirror in the morning and I see that image of me there, that question of, okay, there I am, but what is this? Who am I? Really at depth. And so I think about if I've got this question about myself, if I've got to take these little personality tests to discern who I am, what makes me think that I know anything about anybody? If I don't truly know the depths of me, how could I ever know the depths of anyone else? And so that classification that our brain does help us, but it also prevents us from fully experiencing the mystery and the wonder of each one, what each one is, as we come to each moment with those eyes being willing to see anew, to see with wonder. I was thinking about how if I said right now, close your eyes and imagine a tree, you would all have come to mind some kind of a tree. Like when I do that, I go back to our old house in Austinburg, and we had this 200-plus-year-old sycamore tree that it took 4 of us to hold our arms around in order to fully encircle it. So when I think of tree, I go to that sycamore tree. But you might have seen an oak. You might have seen a maple. You might have seen an evergreen, right? We all have different pictures, even as we've labeled those as trees. I have this image of my sycamore tree as well as all the stories and ideas that go with that. But nonetheless, I don't see the depth of that tree necessarily. So I was looking online this week, and I picked up from an article on the Smithsonian Magazine. This is going back to March 2018 that talks about this. This was written by Richard Grant. I'm walking in the Eifel Mountains in West Germany through cathedral-like groves of oak and beech, and there's a strange, unmoored feeling of entering a fairy tale. The trees have become vibrantly alive and charged with wonder. They're communicating with one another, for starters. They're involved in tremendous struggles and death-defying dramas. To reach enormousness, they depend on a complicated web of relationships, alliances, and kinship networks. Wise old mother trees feed their saplings with liquid sugar and warn the neighbors when danger approaches. Reckless youngsters take foolhardy risks with leaf shedding, light chasing, excessive drinking, and usually pay with their lives. Crown princes wait for the old monarchs to fall so they can take their place in the full glory of the sunlight. It's all happening in the ultra slow motion that is tree time, so that what we see is a freeze frame of the action. I just loved that imagery, right? Like opening my mind to expand beyond what my mind wants to go to when I think of tree, to the wonder of a tree. You know, that creative essence that is God, that is there even in that tree, animating that tree. The ways that the trees communicate with one another, the ways that the trees are in relationship with one another. The wonder of that. I've been listening over the last couple of weeks to a gentleman. Oh, I'm hoping I put his card in here, and I think I forgot it. He wrote a book called The Case Against Reality. And he's a scientist who's studying consciousness, which is what intrigued me. Because as he said, science has been really great at putting together experiments and ideas about our brain and how our brain works. So neural science has in fact shown us that our brain is not static, that we can open up to new ideas, that we can create neural connections, that our brain has plasticity through our life. Wonderful. But what science has not been able to tell us is what makes consciousness. This past week, one of our beloved congregants passed away, Don Howell. And Don attended many classes with me, and I would talk about the brain, and I'd talk about the mind, and as I'm talking about the mind, he'd often catch me pointing to my head, and he'd stop me, and he'd say, "Joanne, science does not know where the mind exists. We know where the brain exists, but science does not equate mind with brain, and science has not been able to locate mind." When I think about unity, when I think about mind within unity, it speaks to that idea of consciousness, right? Divine mind consciousness. That within my own mind, I hold a certain consciousness. And science does not understand consciousness. In the case against reality, the author is talking about our not understanding consciousness. Well, what does that mean? You know I love chocolate. So he gives this example in the book. You know, science can tell us which part of the brain lights up when we're eating chocolate. But it cannot tell us what our experience of eating chocolate is. So even though as I'm eating chocolate and Roberta's eating chocolate, both the areas of our brains related to chocolate might be lighting up, my experience of chocolate, I like to savor it nice and slow and let it melt on my tongue, may be totally different than Roberta's experience of eating that chocolate. She's like my husband, she eats it quickly. It's quickly gone. That experience, that consciousness behind the process is where the mystery is. So as I've been thinking about all of that over this past week, the mystery and the wonder of coming to each moment, recognizing that this is a new moment, that I don't have to name this moment as something that I've identified in my mind, but that I can remain open to what is here, what is possible, the mystery of this moment. It brought me back around to God. And I've thought about this week how we name God and we claim God. How we say with confidence, God is this and not that. And I thought, isn't that a curious thing? We don't even say we know ourselves. And yet, we are willing to fight, to go to war with ideas that we hold about the divine. When we box God in that way of classifying that our brain is so good at doing, when we stop coming to the divine in each moment from that place of beginner's awareness, when instead we come to God with this idea of, I know. And perhaps some of that comes because of our understanding of faith growing up. Like faith is that place that we have to know God is here in this moment and we have to know what God is, even if we can't see God. But what
What if we could set aside our ideas of what we know God to be? If I don't even know myself, then how can I know the divine? If I'm still trying to figure out my own life, then how can I ever wrap my mind around the idea that the Hubble telescope could look at this infinitesimal part of space and see galaxies there? If I can't wrap my mind around all of that, then what makes me think that I've wrapped my mind around God? And so this idea of mystery and wonder and beauty invites us into this new understanding that in any moment I can set aside what I think I know and enter into the mystery of the moment, the abyss of the moment, the wonder of the moment. We, as human beings, do not do well with mystery. We want to know. It's a condition of our brain. And so this past year and everything that we've been going through this past year has been filled with so much mystery. No wonder we're all feeling so uncomfortable and anxious. We don't do well with the not knowing. With patience, I am grounded in the free fall of uncertainty. That was a quote that I kind of discerned about a year ago, I think it was. With patience, I am grounded in the free fall of uncertainty. Reminds me, don't make up a story about this. Don't start worrying about this. Don't start shoulding yourself about this. Sit with the mystery of this. Sit with the mystery of our not knowing when life will return to normal. What is the gift here? What is the beauty here in this mystery for me? What is this moment seeking to reveal to me as I sit in the mystery of this moment, not needing to understand it or make it into something in particular? But bringing to mind those ideas of like the trees and my intention to show up with beginner's mind and just accept what is here and that I don't know. What would it be like to say, I don't know? Remember, if you've had children in your lives and they ask you all those why questions for a while, and maybe as a parent you felt like you had to give them all the answers. There were so many times I remember my children asking me that question, and I'd go, I don't know. A good question. What if we didn't have all the answers? What if we didn't need all the answers? What if all we needed to do was fully embrace the mystery of this moment? And rather than having an idea about God and what God is in this moment, we simply allowed ourselves to have an experience of God and God's presence in this moment. And what if we discovered there that God is that spirit of strength in me? How beautiful that is. God is that spirit of wisdom within me. How wondrous that is. God is that intelligence moving through it all. So that rather than seeing the objects, we began to open to the unknown behind those objects. Here's what Eric Butterworth tells us from truthunity.net. He had a talk number 7 on superconsciousness. And this is what he says. But whatever else we ultimately find the universe to be, it is whole. We may not understand the whole. We may not be able to see it all. We may not even be able to understand the whole of the point where we exist. But it is whole. And in this, we can feel secure. Nothing can be taken out of the universe. Therefore, nothing is ever irrelevant. Nothing is ever inconsequential. Can I embrace that not knowing? Can I embrace that mystery? from the book of Psalms I want to share with you. This is in verses 13 through 18. The idols of the nation are silver and gold, made by human hands. They have mouths but cannot speak. They have ears but cannot see. Eyes but cannot see. Ears but cannot hear. Nor is there breath in their mouths. Those who make them will be like them, and so will all who trust in them. Now, in this particular scripture, we see the literal idols, right? Made out of silver and gold. But I'm inviting you to the understanding today that the idols that we are talking about here are maybe not idols of materiality, but idols that stop us from seeing clearly, from hearing one another clearly, from speaking words of truth. Idols that we are holding in mind of how we know. Idols of, I know who you are because of how you identify. I know who you are because of the ideas that you hold in mind. I know who you are. Think about those idols that keep you from seeing clearly, that keep you from experiencing that one as that beloved of the divine. This is what we are opening to this week. A greater understanding of the mystery, setting aside our ideas and letting whatever is here in this moment speak to us anew. What joy could we discover here? What love could we discover here? What beauty could we discover here as we began to meet one another with those eyes of wonder? Which, of course, brings me back to the teachings that we shared in See No Stranger, right? Where we were invited to see with eyes of wonder, heart wide open, experiencing each one as brother and sister, aunt and uncle, a part of me I do not yet know. What if Roberta is nothing more than a part of me I do not yet know? Or that tree is a part of me that I do not yet know? Or the vastness of the universe is a part of me that I do not yet know? How would we experience life differently if we allowed ourselves to come from this place of wonder? So we're going to practice together. We're continuing to integrate these contemplative practices into our daily lives. Seeing the beauty, open to the wonder, finding our heart opening in compassion for ourselves and for others. So this week, I'm inviting you to a practice of curiosity. Set a reminder to spend some time each day exploring a phenomenon that you don't know about. Maybe pull open the NASA website and look at that Hubble telescope. Where is it pointing to now? What are some of those wondrous pictures that are out there of space? Take some time in your day to explore that. Have fun with this. Look up, for example, something about the behavior of an animal species. Look up whatever you choose, something that you're curious about, and learn something this week, something new, something that stretches you, something that opens you to a new understanding of wonder. Children are very good at seeing with wonder-filled eyes. Blow some bubbles, and children can be happy for a while as children, chasing those bubbles and ah and oh and beauty. Have you got some bubbles? Take some time to blow those this week. Let your mind go and just come into the experience of this moment, opening your consciousness to divine consciousness, seeing what you find. My guess is you'll find some beauty there. Let us see the beauty in the world this week with eyes of wonder, awe, mystery. Thank you, and God bless.
I would love it if you would sing this chorus with me, and it's only one word, and it's namaste. I honor the divinity in you, just as you greet and honor the divinity in me. Namaste. I celebrate the divinity in me, led by spirit joyfully. Namaste and blessed be. I honor my divinity. I celebrate the divinity in thee, led by spirit lovingly. Beauty fills everything I see. I honor your divinity, our divinity. I celebrate our divinity, led by spirit faithfully. More than flesh and body, I honor our divinity. Let's sing it together now. Namaste. 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 I celebrate the divinity in me, led by spirit joyfully. Blessings pour like rain on me. I honor my divinity. I celebrate the divinity in thee, led by spirit lovingly. Namaste and blessed be. I honor your divinity. I honor your divinity. Let's do namaste together. Namaste. 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 Namaste.
Namaste, Dedri. I'm back because I forgot to talk about one thing that's very important coming up. You know, we have our annual meeting coming up on February 7th, and as Roberta mentioned during announcements, you should have already received some communication on that if you are a member. We've also been showing videos of our board candidates here over the last 3 weeks, and next week on Sunday, right after service, our candidates will be in the Connecting in Community Zoom room to answer your questions that you might have in order to support you in discerning which candidates to vote for. We had 5 candidates in total, and I also wanted to let you know that one of those candidates, Margie Samaski, has decided she needs to step out because of some personal reasons. So we honor Margie. We are so grateful for her willingness to serve, but we know that this is just not the right time. So there are 4 candidates left. You can find out their information on our website under annual meeting, as well as coming next week to the Connecting in Community Zoom room so you can ask them your questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Joanne. When we join together, giving generously as each is able, we rise strong as a community. In community, your faith is nurtured and strengthened through Unity's teachings as your heart is moved and your conscience is stirred. Supporting Unity Spiritual Center in thriving today assures its continued presence as a community of transformation and light for future generations. You have been called to be here at this time, and what a difference you are making in the sustainability of our beloved community. Whether you are donating online or sending a check, please hold your gift in your heart. Please bless your offering and affirm with me, I am open and receptive to infinite abundance.
We should all know this one. I'd like to build the world a home.
Thank you, Dudry, for that blast from the past. We dedicate these gifts to the will and the way and the work of the living Christ moving in and through this ministry of love to transform planet Earth. We thank you, Mother, Father, God, for enough and more than enough to meet all of our desires. Amen. Unity Spiritual Center gives a portion of our offering to several other organizations, including 3 special organizations we select each month. One of those organizations, which we will be giving 1% of our offering to, is the Jack Mulhall Center for Sober Living. This West Side Cleveland organization provides a structured living environment and wraparound services for men who have recently completed detoxification from substance abuse. Thank you for joining us this morning, and a special welcome to any new guests here on the live stream. We are so happy that Spirit guided you to be here with us this morning. Join Reverend Joanne immediately after service in the Connecting and Community Zoom room for fellowship. Since our annual meeting, which takes place on February 7th, will be in Zoom, joining Reverend Joanne for fellowship will provide you with an opportunity to learn the Zoom platform before the annual meeting. You can find a link to the Zoom room on our live stream page. Our message next week is The Beauty of a World Without a Why, and our soloist will be Trey Gilpin. And now, back to Bonnie and Jerry for our closing songs. See you next week.
When we're younger, I think we think that we know everything, but I know for me, as I've gotten older, I realize just how much I don't know. And so I love that idea of wonder, being open to the wonder and the mystery of life. And I will find that good and that peace when I can just look for it. And so I'm challenging you to stand up right now and declare with me, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Please join me. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. I am the light of God. I am the light of God. I am the love of God. I am the power of God. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. You are that light too. You are the light of God. You are the love of God. You are the power of God. You are the presence of God. Wherever you are, God is. And we're all the light. You are the light of God. We are the love of God. We are the power of God. We are the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well. So as you go out into this week, go out with joy and with wisdom and with wonder about this amazing world that we live in together. And have a great week.